Hey, everybody. Welcome to Big Blend Radio. Today, we are heading to beautiful Costa Mesa in Southern California. This is an area Nancy and I got to visit at pretty much the middle of spring this year, and it was absolutely beautiful. Wonderful lodging. We stayed at the Marriott, the Costa Mesa Marriott. It's like a hotel circle almost in that area with also trails and wildlife and birds and art, public art. And it also, we're going to be really focusing on outdoor activities in the area. It's close to the beaches like Newport Beach and everything, but they also have some amazing parks, and they even have shopping that is outdoors. And I know a lot of us want to be outdoors, and with it being in Southern California, you can be outdoors year round. We're also going to talk about a special park. It's called Fairview Park that Nancy and I got to spend some time in. And if you're into bird watching, hiking, just nature, outdoor recreation, getting fit, this is going for a picnic, right? This is definitely a place for you. So if you want to go to Costa Mesa, which you're going to want to, if you haven't been there yet, you're going to want to by the time we're done talking today. You want to go to Travel-Costa-Mesa.com. We have two special guests joining us. And our first guest I want to bring on is Kim Glen. She is from Travel Costa Mesa. So welcome, Kim. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's great. This is
Nice to meet
exciting.
you.
Yeah. We didn't get to meet you when we were in town, but we get to meet you now. And you've got a beautiful, for those who are watching the video versus listening to the podcast, they can see that beautiful background. And that's what I was saying about like the Marriott and like almost like that hotel hub, but it's still got nature, even though you've got like these big hotels.
Yeah, well, in my background here, it's we've got this sort of hidden lake right in the middle of the city, which is behind next to a couple of hotel properties and behind an apartment complex in Costa Mesa. We have some interesting outdoor spaces right in what I'd call the heart of the city, or the urban part of the city. Like this, we have actually a sculpture garden that's in the middle of our little urban jungle as well, called Noguchi Garden. The actual name is California Scenario by Isamu Noguchi. The locals call it Noguchi Garden. But that's a great place too. So Costa Mesa has a lot of great outdoor spaces and unique outdoor spaces that we're happy to showcase.
I know. Nice. We went bird watching and dog watching at that lake
we did.
when we were there.
And people watching.
Oh, we always people watch. How can you not? That's part of travel is people watching. We do it in parks all the time. But our next guest is Cynthia Diagosto, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this correctly. You never know. She might hit me over the head, but she was a wonderful tour guide and took us around on, I'm going to call it a golf cart, but it's not a golf cart. This was I would have drive across the country in this thing, but I think it was electric. But she took us around, and just what a beautiful park, Fairview Park, and she's the park manager and runs it, and it's over 200 acres. Cynthia, welcome.
Thank you for having us today.
Yeah,
208 acres.
208 acres. And so what's so great about this is you have this incredible balance of nature, like restoration and bird watching in areas that we can't go into because you're preserving that natural habitat and biodiversity, which it is very biodiverse, which Nancy and I were really shocked to be in an urban area and find so much biodiversity. Even hawks, we saw ducks and egrets and orioles, and then we saw dogs too, people walking their dogs, and then like a little train track, and golf around the corner, outdoor recreation, sports, athletics, cyclists. So much is going on there, and then at the same time having historic sites. So there's a lot of just also looking at the heritage of the area. So that's quite a balance to work on. You've got an easy job.
She's like, no.
A fun one anyway.
Yeah.
It's a joke. I have the best second office in the city, and Fairview Park is it. Yeah. So no, it's a difficult job, but it's very rewarding and lovely to be there, as you said.
Yeah. Now, what were we driving around in?
I'm sorry?
What were we driving around in? It's not a golf cart. It's a little bit bigger.
I think they are officially golf carts, but it's a 4-seater. But the Parks Department was fortunate enough about 3 years ago to get a couple of those because it is 208 acres. And in order to not just to tour people like yourselves who are interested and want to let the rest of the world know about Fairview Park, but for us to manage it, a tour, a golf cart tour, as we call it, and it is electric. It takes about an hour and a half. So for us to be able to manage the park, we needed these to get around it. And we're also trying to decrease the amount of traffic, the actual maintenance traffic that goes on our trails for preservation purposes. So these carts come in handy. Yeah.
There seemed to be a real drive towards sustainability when you're in the park and that's part of what, when we got on the golf cart, the Fairview golf cart, we were talking about that is becoming more and more sustainable. And even when we were in Costa-Mesa, the city itself seems to be in this push towards sustainability and being earth friendly. I mean, even when we went out into the camp and the lab, which are both outdoor shopping areas, they're anti-malls. They're very cool. We noticed that Costa-Mesa is really doing this drive towards being green, which was really nice to see for a city.
The city itself has actually another position, which is the sustainability coordinator. It's probably 2 or 3 years ago that we initiated that program, and are working on a lot of different initiatives to green the city and make us all more sustainable.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Kim, is that something that on the tourism side that you're seeing as well with the hotels and the restaurants going more towards being sustainable?
Definitely. We're seeing shops pop up. Even there's a fast casual restaurant that is focused on making sure that all of their product is utilized, or their even packaging is all absolutely sustainable recycled packaging that can be composted quickly. And Costa-Mesa itself has been named a LEED Gold City. So it's been recognized actually for its achievements in sustainability. A Tree City USA community, the Arbor Day Foundation named Costa-Mesa. So it is something that the city spends time with, and people like Cynthia work hard to make even better and better. And we love to talk about it. We have our retail centers, and we have, like I said, all these outdoor spaces that it's what people are looking for. It's what people are interested, especially with everything we've just gone through in the past year and a half and what we're still going through. People want to be outdoors. They want a little bit of space between them and other people. And so we actually have a lot to offer in the city of Costa-Mesa.
Oh yeah, you do. And it's kind of like, it's smallish. It doesn't feel like quite like a city, but it is a city, and having that green area, like that little river or lake area is really cool, because I think about all the people doing conferences. And when we were at the Marriott, Winston was saying they are coming back, conferences and business retreats and meetings. When you're in a conference, you need to get the hell out of it once in a while. You need to run to the park. I'm just saying, it's like
you need a break.
There's only so much your brain can handle, so you need to be able to go out and do something other than have the cocktail too. That we want those as well.
But you're proving that you can do business in a good way. Look how nice it looks. Your background photo. Look how nice it looks. It's city. It's obviously it's city, but it's nature, and it works. And I love that. I think you're a really shining example of that.
Absolutely. The green space you can see right behind me is people will have weddings there. They'll have outdoor, dinners for their conferences or small groups. It's really a very functional and a cool offering that we have. And a lot of, we even have our Hilton, which is our biggest property in Costa-Mesa. They've got a beautiful ballroom where all the doors open up and you can have an outdoor space at the same time. If Southern California weather permits, which most of the year it does. So it's a really, really nice. And again, in seeing that some of these groups and conventions and meetings and events are coming back slowly, being able to offer that outdoor space is it's absolutely key.
And then also the Fairview Park. Cynthia, are you seeing travelers and those coming in for conferences get out into Fairview Park and get their jogging going, or maybe just coming in to go bird watching.
Yeah, I think a lot of our visitors are the out-of-town visitors, and they're here for various reasons, and Fairview Park is known for that. We've got over 7 miles of hiking trails just within the 200 acres, and then we're also adjacent to an Orange County park that leads to the Santa Ana River Trail, so you can actually get on the trails at Fairview Park, which is on Placentia Avenue in South Costa Mesa, and head out to the River Trail, which is only 2.5 miles to the beach. So you can do a 5-mile round trip down to the beach and back again within our trail system. Makes
That's
it great.
nice.
Yeah, and
That's
yeah,
nice.
there's many places you can do that. But then we also have the diversity of the geography. We've got the hills, we've got flatlands, we've got dirt trails, we've got paved trails. There's just a wide variety. So people like it for the workout. As you see the stairs behind Lisa and Nancy there, we've got the stairs. People come just to do the stairs. I don't know how many there are, and we don't compete with San Francisco, but we've got our stairs. So yeah, it's a diversity. It's the diversity, as you say, not just with the biology, but with the recreational opportunities that are out there.
You know, it's interesting to me too when you think about the geological diversity. Because you took us into areas where there's actual wetlands, and they're all hidden. And I know a lot of that part is like you can walk on the outside and look in, but don't start, tramping on areas that what's being restored. But and then also you have these views out to the city and even to the suburban areas. So it's hilly, and for the wildlife, isn't that pretty cool as well? Just in regards to having those different habitats, like multiple habitats.
The diversity of habitats within the 200 acres is really astounding. That we've got about basically 5 to 6 different ecosystem type habitats, and so that leads to diversity of flora and fauna. Obviously, the birds love it because this is actually Fairview Park is Costa-Mesa's Mesa. So we're up on that hill that you see there, and the birds love, we get the wind, the breeze in from the ocean breeze. And so we see a lot of soaring that happens over those,
Nice.
as we call them, up there on the mesa. And then we've got songbirds and hummingbirds. We get, over 30 types of different hummingbirds that utilize lands, both for nesting. The 40 wetland that you mentioned is actually a constructed wetland that the city undertook as a conservation project back in 2005, and the 40 acres are densely populated with a variety of habitat types, and it has 5 ponds on it. So the open water is also very helpful for birds migrating. In fact, I think I mentioned to you, Lisa, that we're doing a study with our local chapter of the Audubon Society. When we had to close trails last spring, we had to close the parks, unfortunately, for a few months. We saw the populations of birds starting to rise even over what we had, and we're one of the most well-known bird observation areas in Orange County. But so the local chapter of Audubon has been out there doing some monthly surveys, daily, 3 times a week. They go out, and we've now documented over 140 species of birds that utilize the park. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
because you have
cool.
you've got
That's
like
a lot.
the type of birds that from the coast all the way to the wetlands, and then like you're saying the scrub birds as well. One thing I thought was fascinating on our way out of the park with you is there was one area that was kind of cornered off as restoration, and you were talking about this being for like shrimp or something, like a shrimp, like I'm like, what? Not shrimp? I'm gonna call Forrest Gump.
They're not edible, but it's quite a joke in town. Yes, they are fairy shrimp, and they're less than the knuckle of your finger long. They're very, very small, but they also are part of the reason the birds are there. They provide a tremendous. Sorry about that. It's my computer. A tremendous amount of protein for birds that were in the migratory pattern for birds going south, and so. These are called vernal pools. They're actually a type of wetlands, but Fairview Park is known as one of the last vernal pool complexes, meaning we have more than one pool. North of San Diego, the next one north is up in Torrance, above LA. So in terms of coastal vernal pools, we are protecting them, restoring them now, because we have two fairy shrimp, the San Diego and the Riverside fairy shrimp, which are endangered species. It's actually the soil type and formation of the mesa that allows those vernal pools to form when we get rain. That can be, every 3, 5, 7 years in the cycle. But these particular fairy shrimp species are able to live. Their eggs are called cysts, and they're able to live in the clay of the specific soil for that length of time until it rains again. And when it rains, the pools fill up, and the fairy shrimp live out their whole life cycle in about 12 days.
7 years for 12 days.
Wow.
Talk about a sea monkey.
Yeah.
It is one of the
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But this is neat because people will never you don't realize that you could be walking in an area like that, and what you're doing is also allowing us to learn about the importance of a species we may not see for 7 years, or understand the impact and the importance of being part of that web of life in the ecosystem with the birds. And you would never think of vernal pools. I would think shrimp and vernal pools, lower down by the lagoon, marshy areas. I would never have thought up there on that cliff where we're seeing these, amazing views that, fairy shrimp live right there for 7 days, or 12 days, 7 years, it's amazing. Well, it's kind of like butterflies with that short, lifespan. That was something too I want to bring up, because you have so many native flora. Are pollinators a part of your program with all the wildflowers that you have?
They're not. We're not paying attention specifically to enhancing the habitat for pollinators, because we have so much of it out there already. It's not like we have to purposefully do planting for pollinators in our park, but it's abundant, as you say, and I think that we haven't tracked the the insect populations. Well, we've been paying attention to mosquitoes, I should say, but
Listen, you do not have the mosquitoes out like in the southeast where we are. Let me tell you, nobody wants to see my legs and certain parts of my body, that those things know where to get you. I think this is a national bird.
Jets.
This is a national bird.
They're huge. They're huge, and they're like not and they're abundant.
And let me tell you, Southern California does not have the problem.
Not like Tennessee.
You have coastal breezes too. That's also something really cool about where you are. You get those nice breezes in Costa-Mesa. It doesn't overheat. I mean, you can have your hot days, but you get those nice breezes in and everything. Kim, this is something to bring back to you on, we're talking about Costa-Mesa, but the location, Cynthia was talking about being north of San Diego, Torrance, LA. So you're kind of in that hub of Orange County. You're kind of this little hidden gem. Like it's easy to get to, though, right off the interstate, right? For people to get to.
It is easy to get to right off the 405 freeway, which runs north-south, or you have a variety that intersect within Costa-Mesa, the 55 freeway, the 73 close by. So yeah, it's really easy to get to. We sort of every once in a while call ourselves the heart of Orange County, or the center, because we feel like we have this hub and spoke kind of situation. We're in the middle, and if you want to take little trips to, like, say, Anaheim and visit Disneyland, or you want to go to Santa Ana and visit some of the restaurants there, or Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, we're sort of in the middle of all of that. Huntington Beach, of course, we're right next to Huntington Beach. So it's a great spot to visit on its own, but also if you're taking a bigger trip to Orange County, it's a great spot to stay and kind of do your day trips or park visits and all of that at the same time.
It's easy to navigate, and you've got good restaurants. Like I want to go back to the Outpost and say, okay, like you give me like a nice packed lunch. I'll go to the Fairview Park, have a picnic after you go for a hike, or go through. I don't know, man. I want that golf cart again, though. But I do want to get a hiking in, because like there's so many different plant species that, to me, I'd be stopping every 5 seconds to photograph every plant and butterfly and bird. And yeah, I could
Mhm.
spend all day in that park and still not see it all, I think.
Oh, easily,
Yeah,
easily.
we were
Absolutely.
totally in, it was just not what
It
we,
just,
yeah.
it, it's like you wouldn't expect it. You just
Mm-mm.
would not expect it. And it brings back to me some memories of parts of Africa that we've stayed in.
Mm,
It's tropical in a way.
mhm.
It's, there were so many plants, so many butterflies, so many birds. We're like, wow,
This
you
is
could just
cool.
stay there for a whole week.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved
Mhm.
it, but then also the history. Tell us a little bit about the history, Cynthia, because you have some markers there talking about the indigenous
Mm.
people, and then there's just well, that whole area's. I mean, there's a lot of the whole country has history, right? But there's history going on too, and I think that's
Mhm.
important that it's out there for people to know where they're treading.
It is, I think, much like Kim explained with today, you can get to a lot of different variety of places to go. I think the Native American Indians, of course, settled in Southern California on the mouth of the rivers up and down, but this particular Santa Ana River is where we're at, the mouth of it. You can be at Fairview Park on the Mesa, and you can look to Catalina Island in the ocean. You can see downtown LA on good days. You can
Wow.
see Baldy in the San Gabriel Mountains. You can see Saddleback Mountains down south of us here. And so you can do a whole 360 and identify by different landmarks where you are.
Mm,
And I'm certain
Wow.
that is part of the reason that there was a settlement here. Native American Village, we have two nationally recognized sites at Fairview Park for the village that was there 3,000 to 5,000 years ago. And today we're starting to work with the local Native American tribes to bring that education forward and recognize it. But I think that you saw some of our trails still have the midden, M-I-D-D-E-N, which is a kind of a grounding of the shells over time that still exists and still is evidence on the surface of the trails that there was a village here and that there were populations here long before us. Utilizing the site for those very same reasons today that we appreciate it. The diversity.
That's fascinating. So you're saying you can have a vista of 30, 35 miles more?
Yes.
oh yeah.
That's amazing.
I'll take you out there, Kim. Yeah. Yeah, on a clear day in the wintertime, you can be standing there and see down. Actually, Palos Verdes is what you can see. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
It's far north. South is a little south, like I say, Saddleback Mountain primarily is the last landmark that you see that way. But it's phenomenal. It is something you don't expect, but when you're there and you're appreciating it and enjoying it, then you begin to understand the history of it and why it's been there. And the state actually preserved it in the 1970s, and the city was able to acquire it, and it has been preserved as open space since then. We do have some active recreation, as you say, but we're trying to manage that with the resources that we have so that we can restore and enhance those to the maximum capacity that we have. Because again, not only the fairy shrimp are not only our endangered species, but we have 3 different birds which are listed as endangered as well, and about a handful of plants for that are endangered as well. So we're targeting those habitats first. But I think that our project is just starting, and in another 5 to 10 years that the place will be just even more than
That's exciting. That's really exciting.
I think also
Wow.
what helps you maybe is also that you do have other parks buffering. We were talking about those, extra long trails, is that you've even got a golf course, it's still green. Everybody's got their ups and downs of what, environmentally with that, but you've still got this green space surrounding, which really gives, nature this breathing space that it so badly needs. And especially in an urban area, in a city area, it needs that, and human beings need it. I mean, COVID taught us that we need to go for a walk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's
Yeah.
amazing what you have in the history, because so many times we go walking somewhere and we forget who's walked before us, in that land, or lived and dwelled and worked. It's just so it's such an important thing. I do want to say too, we've got this beautiful nature outdoor area. The outdoor recreation is big. There was, I think it's a Volcom skateboard park that we went to as well, Kim. It was, I might be saying it wrong, but there's a skateboard park. But we found it because we were doing your public art trail. And I'm like, you guys have a nice system of parks around the region in general for people to get out and do. Like, you never know. Maybe you're going to go to a conference and go skateboarding afterwards. You might need it.
You could, and it's now known as the Costa-Mesa Skate Park. And it's right next to the Costa-Mesa Bark Park, which is also a great little doggy park. There's so there's a lot of really cool stuff there. The skate park, and then there's some murals on some of the buildings there. There's I believe it's an electrical building that has a City of the Arts mural. That's really cool. City of the Arts being our
nice.
So yeah, that's a fun space. That's over by the OC Fair and Event Center. We've got great little parks scattered throughout the city. There's another park called Lions Park, which is also locals know it as Airplane Park. That just got renovated and redone. Cynthia probably knows way more about it than I do, but it's so cool. They just had the reopening, and there's a great playground, and they redid this plane that was that has been there, an historical plane.
Cool. So, wow.
Yeah, Cynthia, if whatever I'm missing, please jump in and share more.
We have 32 parks in our small city.
And wow.
Diversity within that makeup of the 32 parks. So there is a lot to see and do. And Lions Park, is historically one that the Airplane Park. What I love about it, the new playground that they've put in also has, I've never seen a zip line quite like what is there, and teenagers and little ones alike are loving it. Adults even have gotten on it. It's state-of-the-art kind of playground equipment. So you can be very active to very local, modest neighborhood parks and just hang out and read a book, watch the butterflies, or you can go and see nature like we've got and the active trails. It's pretty diverse.
That's
a little
awesome.
bit of offering of everything.
That's awesome. I love that. You guys have such a good place. And then, like I was saying, even the shopping being kind of that anti-mall part of it, where you go to the lab and across the street is the camp, and it's part of the Brewery Trail. That's important. Listen, if you go hiking and bird watching all day, you're allowed to go to the brewery. Yeah,
yes, you need the Brewery Trail.
You need the Brewery Trail. We made sure we did after Costa-Mesa, after Fairview, we went over to the camp and the lab, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, there's a brewery. Well, maybe the bootlegger was a bootlegger. I mean, and just for that name, one must stop, and so we did. But I also, I think one of the stores too, for those who are outdoor enthusiasts, one of the greatest company for outdoor gear, whether it's clothing, tents, who give back millions of dollars towards restoration of land and to procure land and save it and save the land around the world is Patagonia, and you have them in your backyard, which I think is very cool, because they're
That's awesome.
one of the most sustainable companies we have on the planet. I believe they really do so much. So for those just in this whole topic of outdoors and bird watching and hiking, go there too and check out. It's an awesome store. It's awesome. I really like it there.
The lab and the camp are always hits when people come to visit the city. They're two sort of sister properties across the street from each other, all about being eco-friendly. The stores are about sustainable and eco-friendly.
They're in Airstream, some of them. Come on, it's cool.
There's some of it are in an Airstream trailer. Yeah, super cool, super fun. The lab itself was actually an old military goggle making factory that that the owner now in the 90s took over and turned into this retail space. So there's a lot of, we're talking about all our parks, but even our retail spaces there, if you go into these complexes, you'll see like hammocks, and you'll see large picnic benches where you can sit and gather with a bunch of friends, or you can hang out. So we really have a commitment to that, being able to enjoy the outdoor spaces in the city.
Yeah, that and the arts kind of go hand in hand, the city of the arts and really good food. Oh my gosh. You need the park.
Yes.
You need the parks.
Yes, indeed. Well, like you said, grab a delicious to go like sandwich or something and go to the park. A lot of people, like I was telling you about, Noguchi Garden will enjoy their lunch because it's in the middle of a lot of office buildings. sort of this little urban oasis. They can go and have a sandwich.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun places like that. And then of course, if you want anything from Mexican food to Italian food to ramen, we have a variety of ramen shops in Costa Mesa. We have the only 2 Michelin starred restaurants in Orange County in Costa Mesa.
You go get it.
And so, so there's a lot of good food here. And like you said, it's sort of, I lived there. I don't live in Costa Mesa anymore, but I did live there for a while, and just going around to all the restaurants. Of course, I'm there every day, but I was like, oh my gosh, there's everything. You want Indian food, you want Mediterranean food. So a lot to offer, lots of surprises.
Awesome.
So you got to have the food, so you need the trails.
Yeah, you need the trails.
You can't be doing the food without the trails.
We can take care of you. And then if you're like, oh, I need your running shoes or whatever, plenty of places to shop.
Absolutely. You definitely got shopping going on, because you got the South Coast Plaza too, which was by the hotel. And, it's really, and honestly, if you're going to go shopping, all I know is our suite had like a whole extra closet just for those who go crazy shopping.
Just for shopping.
I could have locked Nancy up in there, she wouldn't.
Hey, I'm sitting right here.
So much space, Listen, the Marriott.
Or Nancy, she's like, I don't get my own room. I got to sleep in the closet.
I know, I get a closet.
No, we had such a nice day. You know what? We arrived and we drove from the Sequoias and got in there, and they were so cool. They took us on the roof to have a look because of the views, and it was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was
and
so
then
cool.
Next thing you know, they're saying, we have a bottle of wine and a lava cake for each of you. And we're like, what? Cool. So then the next morning, we're going to meet Cynthia at Fairview Park. We're like, we need it. We need it. We were quite happy about that. But next time I would like to take a picnic in the park, because you do have some shaded Ramada areas. And I just want to go sit. You've got benches for people on the trails. I just want to go sit and watch the birds and, relax in the park. I think I want to go back to the park so bad, because I was totally
it was amazing.
It really, it's definitely, when we talk about community parks, it's something we're really big about, because our whole tour, our Love Your Parks tour, started about documenting national parks. And then we quickly realized all parks matter. In fact, I'm not wearing that shirt, but all parks do matter. And people really need a park outside their doorstep that's within 10 miles from where they are.
Yes, I do.
To keep up with health, and the nature needs it. Nature needs it. And so now we document every single park. I think we're around 500. But when it comes to community parks, this has got to be on one of the
it's on the
top of the list of community parks, because it should be like a state or, national, like go to that level with it, because of the biodiversity and then the recreation for people. It really, you guys rock, man. Thank you for joining us. And it was so cool. So cool to meet you, Cynthia, in person. And Kim, hopefully we'll see you next time we twirl around California.
I'm going to make that picnic happen. So you got to let me know.
Okay.
When you're going to come to town. We'll make that.
Oh, it's a date. Yeah.
I'll bring wine. Don't tell Cynthia. Cynthia's got to come too. She's got to come too. I got my Portofino bag for that. Don't worry. I got it. I know how to hide it. Yeah, we know how to get around those.
He's going to get us in trouble. I have a feeling.
Listen. We've had wine in places you'd never know. We know how to get around those park rangers. Cynthia, you guys will never know.
Now, you're going to air. This is going to air in public. You can't
run and get me from California while we're in Tennessee. We're in the real bootlegger country right now.
Yeah, pretty soon you're going to see these wanted posters with our faces on them in all the parks. Stop these drinking ladies.
Park traveling winos. Okay.
Yeah.
On that note, everyone, Travel-Costa-Mesa.com is the website to go for going to Costa Mesa. You've got to go. It's easy, and you can fly in. It's very easy to do that too. And also for the parks system, go to CostaMesaCA.gov, and you'll be able to find all the parks on the website there, and also Fairview. And we're going to be putting up the park on our nationalparktraveling.com website too. So we'll put photos up and everything. And, Nancy might be making a video. We'll just put Nancy to work so that she doesn't get in the closet.
Cool. Yes.
All right. We want to thank everyone.
You never
for joining
know what
us.
I'm drinking in the closet.
You never know. But also
Oh,
keep up
yeah.
with us. Our shows, Big Blend Radio, air Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific
Mhm.
time. Keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. Thank you so much, ladies.